Hi, my name is Kim Trotta, and I'm going to be talking about White Shame, Responsibility and Moral Emotions by Daniel Haggerty, and Justice, Work, and the Ghetto Poor by Tommie Selby. In the first article with Haggerty, he talks about the difference between shame and guilt. Shame is referring to the self, and guilt is the act that is a central focus for negative evaluation. And Haggerty says that white Americans tend to overemphasize guilt and underemphasize shame. Shame is important because it motivates us to reconnect for forgiveness. Just because we might not be directly responsible or we might have been in the era of Jim Crow doesn't mean that we can't feel a sense of shame to work to move forward. We need to find a balance between responsibility and shame because guilt is very much impersonable. And when we overemphasize shame, it shows a deficiency in recognizing others' rights. And when we overemphasize guilt, it shows a deficiency in character and community. So the need for white shame isn't meant to be a bad thing, but it's meant for something that we need to work for and feel in order to move forward. We have to collectively bear responsibilities as members of a group, even if our actions aren't directly responsible. When we establish shame and understand shame, we work to establish bonds, which is something that's very much necessary. And the next article was Selby. He talks about the ghetto poor, when he talks about the ghetto poor, he focuses on the black urban poor. And when talking about the ghetto poor, he focuses on the black urban poor having good reasons not to work. And as a part of American society and under the new work regime, it's said that we have, as citizens, a duty to work. And it's also a moral responsibility. But Selby's arguing that the urban ghetto black poor have reasons for not working. The two main things that he talks about in his article are the difference between involuntary joblessness and voluntary joblessness. Voluntary joblessness is what he's focusing on primarily in the article because he wants to dig into why these people choose not to work, even if there are options to work. He is also mentioning that the ghetto poor is not wronging their fellow citizens when they choose not to work, that there's reasons behind why they choose not to work. One of the reasons is like what we define as work. A lot of the times, jobs like caregiving, which take up a lot of people's times, caring for their families, working with the elderly in homes, or low-paying jobs, not respected, not really counted as work. And also, enforcing work does not equal human fulfillment. Something that's talked about in the article a lot. You can't feel fulfilled in your life and who you are when you're doing something that you don't feel that you should be doing. Choosing not to work, another reason, is because of the overall injustice and the structure of the U.S. society, that it's meant to keep certain people down or to a limited level. Karl Marx is mentioned in the article with low-wage jobs not relevant to the kind of work, and a lot of the times these low-wage jobs are what is available to the ghetto urban poor, and you wouldn't really want to do these jobs. And so the U.S. social structure is overall unfair. It can be exploitative, mostly seen to impose discipline or permanently make the urban poor an exploitative class. Also, it's an expressive harm blacks may see the type of work that is available to them as reinforcing negative stigmas, and they're suspicious to race-based servitude, which are all three objections and reasons that Selby says are valid and need to be considered when talking about urban poor and voluntary joblessness, and that these are all valid reasons why they choose not to work. And we need to have policy changes in order to make steps in the right direction.